Hi, and welcome to STEM Stories with Mr. Ewing. On other episodes that we've worked on, or other readings and lessons, we talked about the word home. And even for us humans, to define the word home is really tough. Well, animals even have a um, interesting view on the idea of home. Now, today's work is understanding or building what it means to be a perfect home. So, if we think about home for us, it is a structure, it's a building, whether it is a single family house or we live in a giant big apartment building. For animals, homes very different depending on the different species. Now, birds build nests. That's what they use to build home. Other animals actually will build homes inside of things that they find in nature, inside of trees, rocks, caves, things like that. Other other species, animals, insects build homes, like this wasp colony that actually builds the wasp nest as their home. And other animals will find homes in things they find out in nature. Now, again, here's our beaver who actually builds homes by pulling all the logs together, creating something called a dam. This bird is actually really cool. Is a major engineer of constructing this home for himself or herself out of twigs. Other animals actually don't have homes at all. All of nature is their home. They tend to nestle and sleep or settle down just within the grasses and the bushes and the trees. And then other animals will actually go into other people's homes and call it their home, like this little lizard inside of a bird feeder. Animals, lizard, whatever we want, can be pretty amazingly resourceful. And that brings us to our little friend, the hermit crab. The hermit crab actually doesn't create its own shell. It actually finds other shells that are empty and takes them as their own home. Cool thing, I guess it's cool, the thing that a hermit crab does is it actually finds pretty much anything to call home. Unfortunately, our waters, beaches, areas where the hermit crabs live tend to get littered, and that makes me sad. But the hermit crab actually is resourceful and starts to create them or find pieces that they use as homes. Now, here we'll zoom in and look at a few of these discarded materials. But if you think about it this way, the hermit crab is actually recycling, repurposing these materials. I hate that he has access or she has access to these materials, but it's resourceful that they are using them to call their home. It's pretty amazing that they actually do that. I'm still not sure that this one actually is real, but it is pretty cool, the old pen cap as its home. So here's my question for you. But what if one of these animals that normally has a shell or a home is born without a home? So we're going to take a turtle or tortoise as an example, and this is going to be part of your challenge about building a perfect home. So what if a turtle or tortoise was born without its shell? And it's important for it to be born with a shell because that's its main source of protection. But what if it was born without a shell? What could we do as engineers, as STEM thinkers, to create an actual home, a shell for this turtle? So that's going to be your challenge. Use materials that you can find at home, around your house, to build a home for this turtle. And remember, the turtle has to take its home with him. So we can't take a shoebox and actually put some bedding in it and say, hey, look, I created a home. Turtle's going to take its home with him, his home, because that's his shell. So how could we create a physical shell out of materials that we have that our turtle could then call home and take with him? So you're going to be engineering a shell for a turtle born without a shell and using materials that you can around your house. Now, what would you design? What would you create? And, how creative are you going to be? Now, it could be the fanciest, fashion forward, turtle with swag outfit, or it could be as simple as you want it to be. Remember, you're the engineer, you're the creative person. Now, remember, Mr. Ewing is big on safety. If you're using materials that could be unsafe and you could harm yourself, please get an adult to help you. And also, materials you're going to use, because we're finding things around our house, please make sure that you have permission to use them before you start cutting them up or using them or gluing them. But I want to see what you can create and design and engineer a shell for a turtle born without a shell. So I want to see what you engineer, but I want to make sure that you always are having some fun, and you know that Mr. Ewing loves to see pictures, so make sure you upload some pictures. Also, along with this video, I created another video on how you could actually make your own Play-Doh at home with very little supplies. So if you find that video, go ahead, click on it, watch it, and ask an adult to help you, and you don't even have to run out and buy any materials. So have fun, and I look forward to seeing what you create.